This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत. बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत.
This is Bharat FM.
Namaste everyone to YogaLeher GeetaMehek on Bharat FM every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we have been doing the yoga series, and the last two times we talked about the Muladhara Chakra. And this time I thought we will start with the Swadhisthana Chakra. I am going to do though a lot more yoga poses today, sort of focus more on the asana, and the rest of the conversation will continue the next time. So the second chakra from the lower coming to higher is the Swadhisthana Chakra. Swadhisthana Chakra, or it's also known as the sacral plexus, is situated along the spinal column. If we consider it from the front, it's 2 inches below your navel and a little bit above your pubic bone. So this is the energy center. So again, second energy center is there. This energy centers, every energy center will have a certain element, Pancha Mahabhut, one of them. So the Manipura chakra, which is the lowest chakra, its element was earth. So it was about grounding, it was the heaviness, it was becoming solid and stable. The second chakra, the element is water. So this is a chakra which has got more fluidity in it. So we are talking about physically it deals with structures like your uterus, your ovaries, all the reproductive structures, the prostate, the testes. So this is the, physically it deals with all the structures which are more water related. Otherwise it's the creative center, it's your pleasure center, it's your creative center. And the meaning of Swadhisthana is Swa. Swa means self, and Adhisthana means your home, your place. So where is the self place? That is the place of your identity. So your primary identity, who you are, comes from when this chakra is open. When this chakra is blocked, then you struggle with who I am. Why I am, of course, playing all the roles. I am being a good daughter, a good son, a good husband, a good wife, a good sister and everything. I'm being a good worker, good community member, but who am I? This kind of self-realization is kind of, gets blocked if your Swadhisthana is blocked. And Swadhisthana can be blocked for a number of reasons from childhood, when your parents don't accept you, your uniqueness and who you are. When you yourself cannot accept yourself, this Swadhisthana chakra can get blocked. It is the center where if it remains nice and open, you can not only do a lot of self-acceptance, but you can really have a wonderful relationship with others, because now you're coming from a place of knowing yourself. You can have more fun in life. So, Krishna Leela, all of that Krishna Leela that we're talking about happens from this center. So the Swadhisthana chakra is very important to keep it open. We also need to know about when to keep our Swadhisthana chakra in balance, not to keep it so open that we are, we have an intimacy, and then we have, when we are out in public, how to maintain the Swadhisthana chakra. This energy center remains balanced, not overstimulated and not understimulated. Sometimes if someone's been through any kind of abuse, not just sexual abuse, but even physical abuse or verbal abuse from the parents or teachers or from the friends, their Swadhisthana can get blocked. And then later on, they will have trouble in relationships. They may have trouble in sexuality. They may have trouble in getting their creativity come out. And so if any of those sound familiar, and we'll talk more of that next time, it is from Swadhisthana chakra. So balancing it is very important. Sometimes people are so involved in, oh, I'm going to do all my higher chakras and I am focusing here, but your Swadhisthana is blocked. So no matter how much work you're doing, trying to meditate yourself and using meditation as a medication, but because your lower chakras are blocked, one or more of the lower chakras are blocked, chances are you are going in and out. So you're feeling good when you're meditating, but you come down and then you're still lost. One of the big things when it remains blocked is fear. A lot of fear comes in, unknown fears, without a reason. Everywhere I go to work, I'm afraid of displeasing somebody. I'm in relationship, I'm afraid. I just am fearful. I just have this unknown fear all the time. And that can be from blocking the Swadhisthana. So either you know yourself or you don't know yourself. And also the people who say, if you ask who you are, and they'll say, oh, I can do anything, I'm good at everything. Well, chances are the Swadhisthana is blocked because they don't know who they are. Everybody has come to earth with very unique purpose and to fulfill very unique goals and trajectory. And it could be very simple to very complicated, but either way, they need to know who they are. So if someone has come to be a painter, and then they have been forced to be an engineer, their Swadhisthana is going to be blocked. If someone has come to be a doctor, but then, was born and became a plumber, well, then Swadhisthana is blocked. So there is all kind of Swadhisthana can be blocked. And then there are ways where we can open. The color for this chakra is orange, hence I'm wearing orange today. So this chakra, in fact, in Sanskrit, the word is actually sindoor. So I guess at that time, there were some shlokas of Swadhisthana, the original shlokas of Swadhisthana that I was listening to. And the color is described as sindoor. So I would imagine at that time, the sindoor colors were more on the orangish side. We still have that color of sindoor. So, so it is more of an orangish color. Like Mooladhara was more of the red color. This is more orange color. And it is, we talked about Mooladhara having 4 petals. It's symbolized by 4 petals, and this one is symbolized by 6 petals. So we have different alphabets, Sanskrit alphabets on each petal. There is a whole significance of it, mantras coming from that. The Bij mantra for, the Mooladhara was what? Lam. And this one is Vam. So we will do more of that later. So let's today first come back to and do some of the poses for our Swadhisthana chakra. And there will be a lot of pelvic and hip poses. Not necessarily only hip openers, because sometimes we can overdo it, but a lot of pelvic and hip strengtheners. So we will strengthen this, because if we are strong here, we can work with making ourselves strong, whatever be the circumstances we may have been born into. So let's go to our mats, and we will start today and do the whole time some yoga poses. So I do have some poses with me. Okay, so yeah, you can see me. So we will start in a sitting pose. Let me also put an alarm on my phone so that I don't forget. So let's all take a seated position. Okay. In the seated position, let's bring the sole of our feet together. You can hold the, with your fingertips, you can hold the toes together. You can also take it a little bit down if that helps you. Let's take a deep inhale and straighten our back. And then let's just flap, like butterfly, butterfly. Just make some nice. So this is just for warming up a little bit. We're going to warm up this way today. Okay, so from here, just that little bit, and let's go into, we'll start with the first one, which will be into a child pose. So for the child pose, you can keep your feet together, or if your feet can be together, but your knees can keep it together, or can keep the knees a little wider. Whatever is available to you today. Let's go into child pose. Just sink into the mat. Allow your head to just relax. Take your attention to your spine, the base of the spine. Breathe into the base of the spine. That is the site of your Mooladhara. And now bring your attention to a few inches above the base of the spine. Right around your sacroiliac. The site of Swadhisthana. With your next inhale, let's come on all fours. We're going to do a few cat cows. Bring your hands under your shoulder if they're a little bit ahead. With an inhale, drop your tummy, lift your chest forward and raise your head. Exhale and round the back. Inhale, drop and come forward. Exhale and round the back. Last time. Inhale and come forward. And exhale, and let's go back into child pose. Let's come back on all fours. With an inhale, let's again do the same. But this time, as you exhale, let's go into child pose. So we'll do with each breath. Inhale, come on up. Drop your belly, raise your head up. Exhale into child pose. One more time. Inhale, come on up. Raise your head. Exhale into child pose. Inhale, come on back to all fours. Let's take the right foot back, keeping your toes curled. Let's go back and forth, opening up your right foot. And now turn the left foot around. So now your left foot is on the side. Raise your right hand over, extend it. Exhale and close it down. So not like coming back, but just bringing it back over. Inhale and open it. Exhale and close it down. Let's bring the legs back, come back on all fours. Let's take the left foot back. Let's go back and forth a few times. Now let's turn the right foot out. Inhale, let's raise the hands up. Exhale, let's close it. Inhale, The hands overhead, big stretch. Exhale, let's close it. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale and close it. And let's come back. And let's go into child pose. Let's take your hands on, walk your hands to the right, creating a stretch on your left. Inhale and bring your hands to the middle. Exhale and take it to the left. Let's bring the hands back into the center and come back on all fours again. This time, we are again going to take the right foot back. Let's take the left hand forward now. So we're taking the left hand forward, the right foot back. Balancing yourself. You can keep the left foot either curled like this if this helps you balance, or you can keep it flat. It's your choice. And with an inhale, let's raise the left hand and right leg up. Exhale, bring it down. Actually, next time we will do with one breath each. Inhale, take it up. High, high, high. Exhale and bring it down. Last time, inhale and take it up. And exhale and bring it down. Let's come back to the middle. Let's take the left foot back. And let's take the right hand forward. Find the spot where you can balance yourself. And with an inhale, let's raise the right arm, left leg. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, arms and hands lift up. Exhale, bring it down. Last time, inhale. And exhale, bring it down. From here, we'll do one more and then go back into child pose. So here, let's take 90 degrees, lift your left leg up and create a 90 degrees there. From there, let's pump it like 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's bring it back and let's do the same on the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it back and let's go into child pose again. Child pose is not just about taking a break, but it's actually really good for your lower back, which is where your Swadhisthana chakra is too. So opening up lower back is really important. Let's come back to the middle again, all fours, and this time we are going to lay on our belly. So let's, in any way you want to, you can take a plank and then gradually go down, and let's lay down on our belly. Now, we're going to do a few things here for Swadhisthana chakra. So the first thing we're going to do is just raise the right leg up. So we then take an inhale and raise the right leg up, just the right leg. You can rest the forehead on the mat, you can rest your chin on the mat, just like exhale, bring it down. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, bring it down. Last time, inhale, right leg up. Exhale and bring it down. Let's do it with the other one. Left one, inhale, let's take it up. And exhale and bring it down. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Keep both the hips on the mat, so don't rotate yourself. Just raise a little bit. Inhale. And exhale. Now let's slide our hands forward. Let's put the forehead on the mat. So your hands are next to your head, so next to your ears. Inhale and just lift your upper body up. So you're resting your body on your elbows. Exhale and let's go down. Let's rest our right cheek on the mat. Let's come back to the middle, forehead on the mat. Inhale and raise yourself up. Using your, pushing the hands down into the floor. Exhale, down and left cheek on the mat. So let's bring both the feet absolutely together. So let's see if we can do that. Let's bring the feet together, forehead on the mat. We're going to do the same thing. Inhale, lift your head off the mat. And this time, see with the next inhale if you can lift both the feet off the mat. It won't go up too much. Exhale, lower everything down and right cheek on the mat. Now let's widen the feet further away so we can make the feet as wide as the mat. Let's come back, bring the forehead on the mat. With an inhale, again raise the upper back up. This time the feet are completely wide, so taking the whole space. Exhale, let's go down and the left cheek on the mat. Let's put the forehead back on the floor. Inhale, lift the head off the mat. Your hands are pushing into the mat. And with your next inhale, let's see if we can raise both the feet off the mat too. The legs are off the mat. It won't raise too much. Exhale, everything goes down, child's pose. You've done a lot of things for your back, for your lower back. Let's again come back on all fours. Now, what we want to do here is let's take, again, the right foot back. Take a big inhale. And with an exhale, bring the right knee forward and take your forehead and see if your forehead can touch your knee. You won't necessarily, but that's okay. Mine is not doing it today either. Inhale, let's take the legs straight up. We're going to do that 3 times. Exhale, let's bring the knee forward and try to see if we can touch it to the forehead. Inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale, let's bring the knee forward. Inhale, let's straighten that. Let's press that knee down. Let's straighten the left knee now. So now the left foot is back. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, let's bring the left knee down. Curl the back, see if your forehead would touch. Inhale, let's take it all the way up. Exhale, let's bring it again. Inhale, let's take it back. Again, let's do the exhale, take it in. Inhale, let's take it back. Plant it down. Let's go into child pose.
Take a few deep breaths here, bringing your awareness to the Swadhisthana. Let's come back on all fours. And this time, again, let's straighten yourself, go into a plank. And let's drop our knees, chest, and chin to the mat and come back onto the mat. Now let's lay down on a side. So let's go on your right elbows first. So you can keep yourself rested like this. You can even go like this, whichever way. We're going to do some movement with the leg, opening up the area. So you can keep both legs straight if available. You can inhale, and now the hips have to stay stacked on top of each other. So you're not going backwards, you're not going forward. You're just in the middle. Hips are stacked. Inhale, take the left foot up. Now when you take the left foot up, it's not rotated out or in, it's just straight up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, foot up, leg up. Exhale, bring it down. Let's do the last one. Inhale up. And here now, we're going to rotate it 5 times clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5 times anti. 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's bring it down. Now this time, let's inhale and lift half of what you did. So don't lift too much. Now in this position, let's again do clockwise 5 times. 4, 5. And let's do anti-clockwise. 2, 3, 4, 5. With that, we rest it here. Bend both the knees to 90 degrees. So now you bring the knees to 90 degrees. And leaving the right foot on the floor. Keep the hips stacked on each other. Let's straighten the left leg. So left leg is straightened. It's kind of don't need to rest on it. It's kind of stays a little bit above. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, bring it down. Keep your foot flexed. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, bring it down. Last time, inhale, take it up. Now, exhale, bring it down, but keep it above the other leg. Now, with your inhale, let's turn your toes in towards the floor. And with an exhale, let's point the toes up towards the ceiling. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale, point the toes in towards the floor. Exhale, point the toes towards the ceiling. Last time, inhale, make sure the hips are stacked. Exhale, point the toes and bring it down. Ooh, that was a good exercise. Keeping both the knees flexed, we are going to now do it on the other side. So let's do it on the other side. I'm going to shift positions so I can face you. We're going to lay down both the legs flat on the mat. Hips are stacked on top of each other. Inhale, raise the right foot up. Exhale, bring it down. Again, inhale, raise the right foot up. Exhale, bring it down. That's one more time. Inhale, right foot up. Exhale, bring it down. Now this time we're going to do the rotation. So inhale up. Let's rotate it clockwise. 3, 4, 5. And anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And bring it down. Now let's take it halfway, just a little bit. And let's do rotations here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And bring it back. Let's bend both the knees at 90 degrees. So this is creating an angle of 90 degrees. I hope you can see it. So I guess you can see it. So it's at 90 degrees. I'm going to leave the bottom floor on the mat. The top one goes straight out. I'm going to keep the foot flexed. Inhale, raise overhead, keeping the hips stacked. Exhale, bring it down. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale up, exhale, bring it down. Last time, inhale up and exhale, bring it down. Now still staying above the other knee, I'm not resting it. Now inhale, point the toes to the floor. Exhale, point the toes to the ceiling. 2 more times. Inhale, point the toes to the floor. Exhale, point the toes to the ceiling. Last time. Inhale, point the toes to the floor. And exhale, point the toes to the ceiling. And let's bring it back. Woof. That was quite a bit of exercise for the lower. So this creates a lot of, we are not just using it's hip, it's the pelvis, it's the glutes, we are using all this areas. Now with putting your other hand on the floor, let's sit up. And let's straighten our foot forward. We're going to do Paschimottanasana, so keeping the seated forward fold. So inhale, arms overhead. You can keep the foot flexed. Exhale, let's go down. Bend from your waist. So I tend to bend my knee quite a bit. I'm not trying to go down, let go of my back. I'm trying to keep my back straight. The reason I bend my knee, first of all, you never want to lock the knee, but it helps me to hold on to. But you can keep your hands here. You can even keep your hands in the back. It helps keep the back straight. So you're again creating that opening. Always having this intention of bringing the chest forward. Sometimes you can even hold under the knees so that you can find the spot, the fulcrum to hold on to and bring the chest forward. Exhale. We're going to bend both the knees. From here, we're going to do the twisted seated twist. So we basically are going to bend the left knee and put the left foot underneath your, not completely underneath, but just put it under your your right hip, and take your right foot and take it across. You're going to place your right hand behind you a little bit. Inhale, arms, the left arm overhead. Exhale. Let's see if you can hook it under the, on the other side, on the right side of the right knee. If this is unavailable, you can always just hug your knee, keeping your hands towards the back. Sit up straight first. Inhale. Exhale. Let's see if you can create a twist. With each inhale, sit up straight. Exhale, see if you can create it. Exhale, come on back to center. Let's do the opposite. So now the right foot comes under the left hip. The left foot crosses over. You can sit up straight. Take the left foot back. Inhale, right hand goes up. Exhale, you can hook it. And if you're hooking it, you can hold the left hip, or you can grab your knee, bring it towards you. So do what feels right. Don't try to do what you think should be done, because there is more benefit from yoga, as we talked about right from the get-go, by doing 50% than doing 100%. 100% causes more injury, overstretching, everything is over. So you can have too much flexibility, too much laxity, too much contraction, too much damage. So inhale, straight up, exhale towards the back. So Whatever you think is your capacity, do 50% of that so that you get the benefit but not the injuries. Exhale, come out of it. We are going to do a seated, bend, but we will take the foot wide apart. So wide seated fold, wide-legged seated fold. So basically our legs are going to be as apart as can be. So we are opening up again, creating a little bit of opening. You're going to not take it so wide that you tend to curve your back. So sometimes it may be just this much, that's okay. Wherever it is, just creating where the back is completely straight. Knees can be bent quite a bit. Take your hands forward. So with that space, whatever space is created, take your hands forward. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. See if you can crawl the hands forward a little bit. It won't go up too much. There are people that you will see can go all the way down. Well, that's fine. They might be dealing with some stuff that you don't know about. So instead, you just focus on bringing the hands forward, keeping the back straight, making sure the knees are slightly bent, and just creating that little bit of movement at the hip. So we're creating more stability and opening up the chakra rather than punishing ourselves and actually closing the energy center. Let's relax ourselves, bend the left knee. Let's take the left knee in. The right foot stays where it is. We're going to do a sideways bend. So inhale straight up. Exhale, take the right hand towards the right foot and bring the left hand overhead. So opening it up. So you're not in forward, you're not back, you're just trying to see if you can open up. Take a couple of deep inhales here. Now let's take another big inhale. Exhale and bring the left hand down towards the leg. So you're holding, with both the hands, you're holding your right ankle or right foot or right calf, whatever is available. You're opening up your upper back, allowing the flow of energy. Keep your neck relaxed. Inhale, again open up. Exhale, let's close one more time. Inhale, open up. And release. Let's do it on the other side. We will take straighten out the left leg, the right knee is bent. Inhale, you can take the arms overhead. Exhale, let's do a side bend. Left hand touches the left ankle, left foot, wherever it wants to be. And the right side opens up this time. Couple breaths here. And now let's take a deep inhale. And with an exhale, let's bring the right hand down to the left hand. So both the hands are kind of, now one side might be more tight than the other, especially because we sit so much. That also does not help with Swadhisthana chakra. So much sitting causes tightness. If you're suffering from low back pain a lot, your Swadhisthana might be blocked. If you're suffering from inability to have children, a lot of times Swadhisthana is blocked. Inhale, come on up, extend yourself. Exhale, let's do it one more time. The low back pain is a sign that some energy is not flowing properly. Exhale, come on up. Let's come back to seated position. Now from the seated, actually, I want to go into all four again. So we are going to go into all four. So let's go back into all four. And we won't do much with all four right now. I'm going to not scare you too much with the all four. But from here, let's raise the right leg up. As high up, bring your elbows down, as high up. Exhale, bring it forward and place it between the hands. So we are actually doing a little bit of, bring both your hands onto the right knee. So your right ankle is a little bit ahead of the right knee. So you're basically just sitting up here. Now, let's do this. Let's keep the left, let's keep the right hand on the right knee. Let's keep the right hand on the right knee. Inhale, take the left arm up and let's come forward. Exhale, let's go back into the same position. So your knee is a little bit behind. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, go behind. Now sometimes what may help here is if you have a little bit of blanket or some sort of a shawl or something under your knee, that might be helpful. So that can protect your knee if you're feeling a bit of, too much pressure in your knee. So if you're here, inhale, yeah, that helps my knee. Exhale, come on up. Last time, inhale, let's go further, bring your pelvis forward. Exhale, come on. Let's straighten the right leg, lift the right foot. You can put your hands on the mat. So creating a stretch. Let's plant the right toes down. Let's again peel the right toes. Plant the right toes down. Let's come back into the low lunge. This time, let's curl the left toe. Let's come up into high lunge. So we're going to find the stability first. So your left knee is off the mat. And then with an inhale, let's see if you can come on up. We can bring our hands overhead. We can bring our hands to the back. Now let's straighten our legs. Turn the right toes towards the front. So both the toes are towards the front. Inhale. You can take your hands to the side. Exhale, dive down. Bend from your waist. So now you're doing a standing wide leg fold, right? So here, both the toes are pointing forward. It can be a little bit inside if that helps you. I don't like it too in, but we like parallel is good. You can bring your forehead down, your head down. You can hold both your ankles if available. Bring your awareness to the Swadhisthana chakra while you're here. Take a couple deep breaths. Let's walk both our hands to the right foot. Turn your right toe forward. Bring your left foot a little bit inside. Both your hands are in the front. That's kind of creating a triangle, right? Now I'm going to leave the right foot on the floor or on my ankle. Inhale, raise the left hand up. So now you're in Trikonasana. It's another way of getting into Trikonasana. Exhale, bring it down. Leaving both the hands on the floor. Bend your right knee, pick up your left foot, bring it further in. So now you're in this pyramid pose. So both toes are pointing forward. Don't lock your knee. Leave your left hand on the floor, or if you had a block. No, I don't know what I did. Oh, there's my block. Inhale, take the right hand up. Exhale, bring the right hand down, bend the left knee, peel the right toes. And let's plant it back. Now let's take the hands forward. Let's bring the left foot all the way next to the right foot. So now you are in a forward fold. Let's take a relaxed forward fold. Take a couple breaths here. Let's put the hands back on the floor. Let's bend the knees, drop your hips, inhale, come on up. Exhale to heart center. We're gonna reverse everything, okay, for the other side. So inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, let's dive down. From here, keeping your hands on the floor, let's now go back to all fours. So you take your left foot back, take the right foot back, and let's go back to all fours. So now we're going to start back right here, okay? Do it on the other side. So with an inhale, take the left foot straight up, bend your elbows, come on down as much as you're coming. Exhale, take it in between your hands. Take it a little forward so that your ankle is a little bit above, your ankle is a little bit forward compared to your knee, and bring your hands up. So I'm right here, kind of more of a 90 degrees, but straight ahead. Now I'm going to leave my left hand on my left knee. Inhale, I'm going to bring my pelvis forward, raise the arm overhead. Exhale, let's take it. Let's do it twice. Inhale, arm overhead. Exhale, take it down. And last time, inhale, arm overhead. And exhale, take it down. Let's take both the hands down. Let's sit back and peel the left toes, sorry. Let's plant the toes on the floor, create a stretch there. Again, let's peel the left toes. Let's plant the left toes again. Let's take the hands forward. Let's curl the right toes and let's come up in high lunge. So now we have high lunge. We're going to come up from here. So prepare yourself. Inhale, come on up. Stay here for a couple of breaths. You can take your hands to the side, doesn't matter. And now let's see if we can rotate ourselves. Plant your foot. Again, bring both the feet pointing one side. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, let's bend from the waist. Push your hips back a little bit. Let's bend from the waist. I'm going to turn around and do it on this side. Again, we're doing the same thing. Now this time, once you're here and all relaxed, let's take the hands to the left foot. So the hands to the left foot now, the toes point forward. So bring your right foot a little bit in. We're getting into triangle, Trikonasana. Leave the left hand on the floor. Inhale, open with your right hand. Exhale, bring it down. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, take it up. Exhale and bring it down. Let's bring the right foot further into a pyramid, much in. Am I still there? Yeah. So let me do it here. Let's leave the right hand on the floor. Inhale, take the left hand up. Sometimes you don't go too much, that's fine. We don't want to overstretch. Exhale, bring it down. Let's bend the right knee, peel the left toes off the floor. You're kind of sitting again. And then plant the right toes back. Bring the left, take your hands forward, bring the right foot next to the left foot. So again, you are in a forward fold. You can hold your elbows, whatever you want to do here, basically. Giving yourself the time to go upside down. Bend your knees, drop your hips, inhale, come on up. Exhale to heart center.
We don't have too much time, so we are not going to do a few of the, we can do a lot more in the standing ones. But we will do one, which you can do anytime when you're home. And that'll require a wall. So I'm going to do a by this wall. So go and hold a wall, any wall that you have. Actually, let's do it this way. You're going to hold both the hands with and face the wall. Now facing the wall, well, you'll have to see it first. You'll take the left foot out, inhale, exhale, take it across in the front. Inhale, take it out, exhale, cross from the back. I will do it 2 more times. Inhale, take it out, exhale, take it across in front. Now don't move your hips around anywhere. Inhale, out, exhale, take it back. Again, last time, inhale, abduct, exhale, adduct in front. Inhale, out, exhale, in back. Bring it down. Let's do it with the other foot. Inhale, right foot out, exhale, across. Inhale, out, exhale, across from the back. 2 more times, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last time, inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Coming back to the mat. Let's do one where we go across. So let's take plant your left foot on the mat, right foot pick it up, right foot let's pick it up and take it across and see if you can hook it. I can't hook it too much, so take it across. And then with your hands, see if you can take the left hand below the right hand. So you're creating this, and then with your inhale, you can raise your leg, hands up. You're not going to do this down one of this. Exhale, bring it down. Let's do it on the other side. to your right leg, left leg goes across. So you're not going like this hook, you have to take it across. So you're kind of bringing your thighs together. Now this time your right hand goes underneath. See if your palms would meet. Inhale and take it up. Exhale and bring it down. And with that, we are done for today. Let's come back in the seated position. Instead of Shavasana, let's do it in Sukhasana. Sit down for a couple minutes. Find a comfortable position to sit in. If you want to lay down, you can. You can put your hands in Dhyana Mudra, putting your palms one on top of the other. Left palm underneath the right palm. Sit up straight and take a few deep breaths. Keeping your awareness on the Swadhisthana chakra. And with that, let's bring your hands to heart center. You can basically thank yourself for bringing yourself to the mat today and for experiencing the yoga poses for Swadhisthana chakra. That brings us to the end of our time for Swadhisthana chakra. We will do more of it next time too. I have my sitting arrangement. Okay. So, seems like, everybody is unable to come on Zoom link today for some reason. Maybe they need to be let in by Bharat FM. People are saying they're not being allowed to come in. So Geeta, were you allowed to, did you have to wait? Yeah. So it seems like Bharat Bhai has to let us in, let other people in. So let me see. I'm sorry guys, we're going to start, but it looks like I did not realize. Yeah, finally looks like we are able to make it work. So I think there are more people that should be waiting, or probably people may have left. Okay. Okay. I kept my phone off, so okay, so we have now Bhagavad Gita, and we are doing verse number 21 and 22. So let's go to 21. So let me actually have a sip of water while you read 21. Who wants to read it? Manoj, you want to read it?
21. Whatever a great person does is followed by others who set their standard by his or her example.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to go. Yeah, he written that, and then of course in 22nd he gives a little explanation. So let's do 21 first. I think people are now. Tanuja, you can let Kavita and Surendraji know, because they were asking me that is it canceled because they couldn't get in. So it says.
I got it now. Thank you.
Yeah, I see that. None. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I didn't realize that people didn't get in for yoga, because what I do is I keep my screen on, so I don't come to know that people are having trouble in getting in. But let's go with the verse number 21. So, yat yat acharati mean whichever way or however way. Acharati means conducts himself, acharan, the behaves or follows. Shrestha means the one who's ideal or the best or the great person or the person, the people, great personality. Tat tat. So in that manner, that way, eva, certainly or only, itaraha janaha, the common people, or the so I can see the Nidhi Nagar is now also there. Okay. So that way, itaraha janaha, that those are the other people, then that in that manner they also follow. So for what Krishna is saying is, whichever or however way a great personality or a leader conducts himself, that is the way the common people also do. They also follow that way. And then, yeah. Sayat pramanam kurute means sa means they or he, yat means whichever, pramanam means standard or authority, kurute mean if he, whichever way this person, which is the leader, the kind of standard of performance he sets or as an authority he accepts. Loka means all the other people or the world. Tat anuvartate. That means that itself, or like him or like her, anuvartate. They also behave in the same way. They also follow the same way. So whatever he or she accepts as authority or whatever standard he or she sets, the world will follow that. So why is he saying that? Because Arjun is, of course, wanting to leave the battlefield, and Krishna is trying to talk to him that there is not a point in leaving the battlefield right now because there are many people. First, he gives an example of others like Janakadaya, so other people. And now he's pointing to Arjun itself and saying that you need to lead by example. So if we were, there are two ways we interpret this verse. One is the common way that, you know, whoever is, if a person, if we have a leader, and we can see in our regular lives too, that if we have a leader who has set the right intentions, the right motivations, the right principles, then everybody tends to gravitate towards that. But if we have a void of a leader, Tanuja is smiling, when we have a void of a leader, well, the common man is overcome with selfishness, the darkness within them, they lose the direction, right? So around us, we are constantly surrounded by examples in our public life, right? In our political life, in every which way, in our school life, we come across that it's the leader who does matter. So in this case, if Arjun leaves the battlefield, then he's got an army, right? What is the army going to do? What are the other people going to do? Or what kind of example will they set for future generations? That when it's faced with a dharma battle, that's the battle that Arjun really chose not to stand against adharma. That will be what will be left. So this vacuum of principled leadership is never good. Whenever we have this, it's not about being a leader, it's about being a principled leader. And that vacuum is never good for the masses, because unless everybody can really tap into that Shrestha within them, so everybody has that, right? They have that Shrestha, that inner intuition, the inner wisdom, the power within them. But a lot of us can't tap into it. Because we can't tap into it, if we have one leader that taps into it, and that's why you see spiritual organizations, how do they flourish? Because there's one guru who has achieved has got some realization, and because he's got some realization, others come in his company, and guru knows that all of them are not realized. They may be teaching some yoga, they may be teaching some sessions, and they may be even conducting workshops, but then Guru knows they are not realized beings yet. They have not self-realized. But by setting that behavior, setting that standard, he knows that everyone will gravitate. So if the Guru says, well, Guru understands, for example, the value of karma yoga, he's not even going to. I think somebody is not. I think Kanti can.
Bob Woodson is here. She's the founder and president of the Woodson Journal. Happy to have you on. Thanks for joining.
Okay, so if someone does not, what were we talking about? So yeah, so if the leader is not a karma yogi, then nobody else is even going to do karma. Before you even become karma yogi, you have to be a moral, like Vedas is divided into karma kand and gyan kand, right? So when in karma kand, he's saying, just do the karma, right? In karma kand is all about just be a good person, be moral person, be ethical person, don't steal, don't do this, speak the truth, and just live a good life. And that is what is karma kand. When a guru comes with a spiritual master in any of the across the time, whether it is from the time of Buddha to our modern gurus, they know that it is hard to understand karma yoga, but they will tell all the disciples to do some sort of volunteer. They're always involved in some sort of volunteer activities. So it is a way of getting them to become involved into karma, at least, where then their ahankar will be gradually let go of. They will have to let go of this job is small, this job is big. So when they go to a lot of the spiritual organizations, they have to clean anywhere from sweep the floor. He may be a big industrialist, but he has to also go there and sweep the floor and live in an air-conditioned environment, and then do all the things that everybody's doing. Maybe serve the food to the guests, All that is about doing the karma, not really reaching yet self-realization. So this is what one of the ways you can look at it, that whoever the greater person sets as the way they conduct themselves, that is the way every common man will set. So that is why we all need to be mindful. We know that even from parenthood, right? That our children don't do what we say, they do what we do. So they don't also do necessarily what we do necessarily, but the principles. So whatever intentions or ideals we have, our children will tend to have that. They may be doing it in a different format, but they kind of follow that. So this is a classic example of how they look up to their parents, so that by parents become the Shrestha, and now the common people, that the children are kind of doing what mom and dad are doing. So if mom and dad are, you know, here and there, you know, stealing a little bit on some, you know, they may be rich, but I've seen some rich people, you know, take a little bit from this house or that house. Well, guess what? The children are watching that. So it doesn't matter how successful they are, they will tend to also do the same kind of things. And if a person may be a cleaning person, but always, you know, is like my cleaning lady, you know, I can leave as much gold and diamond outside. I never have to worry about it. I just leave money outside, nothing. And there's not even a penny, or, you know, they can be $100 or they can be never, nothing is ever gone. Now that is the principle. Her daughter also comes when she comes to clean. It's like, I don't have to worry at all. When her daughter was in my weight loss practice, she was my secretary. Also, she did her nursing then and became my secretary. Well, as a secretary, so she handled 100% finance. I didn't have to look at the book and see how much somebody paid, because she learned it from her mother. Whereas there could be some very rich people that I might have to be careful around with my jewelry. And let me see, I can admit Surinderji now. So there could be a lot of people that might walk into my house where I have to be mindful of, you know, what I'm keeping where. So not necessarily, that is what is Shrestha, what they do. So that's one thing. The other aspect to understand this is also Shrestha. Now let's talk about, you know, just like Mahabharata is outside and Arjun, you can imagine a character outside, but there is Arjun and the whole Mahabharata is within us, right? So there is, if you look at Mahatma Gandhi, you'll say there was no Mahabharata outside, it was all within. And that is what we're talking about. What is the point of learning what happened in some historically? It doesn't make sense to me. So what is the value inside? Here the value is even more important, that whatever the Shrestha conducts himself, itaraha jana, the other common people just follow that. So here the Shrestha is let's look at that aspect more carefully, because that is what is more important for us. So the Shrestha, or the, how do we say Shrestha? Shrestha, imagine the Shrestha is within you. It is at the very minimal, it is your intellect. So the mind has got, right, we know that if we again go back to the same structure, we know that we are made up of senses, right? These are the senses. And then we have got, of course, the whole chariot of Arjun, that's the body. And then we have the mind structure, right? The mind has got 4 parts, right? That is the manas, and ahankar, which is the ego, and then buddhi, which is the intellect, and chitta, which is that awareness or consciousness. So these are the 4 parts. Now, the way we know is that the senses are, if we look at Arjun, the senses are those horses, right? There are those horses, and the manas is actually these reins, the reins of the chariot, you know, in the chariot. So, at the very minimal, if I had to say that the Shrestha is your intellect. So, if we can tie into our intellect, if we can be whatever, if intellect becomes our Shrestha, if we live a life where we are directed by the intellect, then you know how sometimes we in when we first started talking about second chapter, it came about like how do you control it, right? How do you control senses? Like senses just seem to do everything, right? I used to be in my 30s, I had a saying, you know, I would start from, you know, I used to do nursing homes. So there was a lot of flexibility. So which meant like I could go today or I could go tomorrow. I had didn't have a certain deadline to go there. So I would say that I was driving to the nursing home and somehow my steering wheel turned towards Kenwood Mall. I didn't do it. It just turned towards the Kenwood Mall. And I ended up spending the whole day in the mall and came back home 2 hours later and didn't even see a patient. That is called example classic, like a real example of how my intellect I got ready, I made all the decision, but then my horses were really out of control. And so instead I decided to go to the mall. Well, the bottom line is I wasn't really enjoying that particular job. So I really was not liking it. Instead of facing that fact, I was just so bored out of my mind that I was like, okay, let me just go shopping. You see, so first you have to do a lot of examination. Why, what happens? But first step, whenever we start talking about the structure, the first thing that happens is, this is a question like, I am not the one doing it. I mean, I have good intentions. I want to eat the right thing. But it just happens that, you know, the sweet at 4 o'clock just attracts me. It's not like I want to eat it. It just happens, right? Or I just happened that I didn't want to shop anything. I had no need for shopping. But you know, sale came, and you know, Thanksgiving sale is coming, and then before I know it, I ended up buying for like, you know, my daughter told me at Syracuse she went for her Labor Day, and she said, well, I have really not that much need, but she ended up spending $600 in the mall. And so then she came back, and then she said a few days later, like, Mom, I think I didn't need all that. I think I need to make another trip to return it. So now she would have to again make another trip to return it. But what was that? It was that senses, because the intellect in the moment has completely not there. We just so used to, and because everybody is doing it, we go to the mall say to return one t-shirt, and we return that, but we come back with a shoe and a piece of jewelry, and you know, what is that? You know, that is what malls, the whole purpose of mall is just that. What was the intention? Like, you would go in one shop, but you wouldn't walk away with that one thing. You wanted to have that shoe that you need with that dress for the party. Okay, granted. But you came back with 10 things which may come in useful for the next, like, you know, God knows which party. So that is what, when we say, so then you say, okay, how do I control it? Well, Shrishta, so once we do the inner contemplation, we say, okay, my intellect, instead of senses being leading me, who becomes my leader? My intellect becomes my leader. It's not so great for economy, but for us, it is very good. If our intellect becomes our Shrishta, our leader, then the Itara Jana, these are the Itara Jana, they will automatically follow what the intellect will tell you. So we have to not work on giving up the senses. We just work on ourselves to make our intellect stronger, to talk to ourselves. We are all very smart people. We know what is right. And sometimes to stay in what is right, sometimes somebody might need to do meditation more. Somebody might need to do bhakti more. Somebody might need to do jnana yoga more. So the very starting point, when we say what is the starting point, anything can be the starting point. The starting point can be that you can be completely engrossed in, you know, people suddenly become such big bhakts that then everything goes up that way. Or you may be a karma yogi, and that's how you do it. But you do it where Shrestha. So if I were to draw another way, the person is doing exactly the same work. There is no difference in the external output. But in one case, if your Shrestha this is my face. So this is your Shrestha. Once I have set my Shrestha here, I find that I can easily, I would say right now that maybe 80% of the time, this is what my Shrestha is. Still, right now, not 100%. What happens is something comes up and then 2 days later, I'm like, okay, I need to go back. Because I may have thought, okay, I have been meditating for so many days and this is my personal experience. Like I've been meditating for so many days. I'm so centered. And then I got busy, right? Some work came up and I said, okay, one day not meditation. It's okay. I mean, I'm so centered. 3 days no meditation, 4 days suddenly I'm no more centered. And that's when I realized how human I am. I am nowhere close to realize of letting go. Now my method is meditation. My method is not even meditation. My method is pranayama. Meditation is meditation is dhyana that happens after pranayama. There was one person who wrote to me, Anisha, how do I do meditation? I said, well, do you do pranayama? Well, he didn't reply back. So if you're not going to do pranayama and you want to jump into dhyana, how are you going to jump into dhyana? Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, then pratyahara, then dharana, then dhyana. That is meditation. You can't say I want to meditate, but you don't want to do a simple pranayama. So at least do some breathing exercises. Pranayama means expanding your prana. But what is the means? Through those breathing exercises. So make up your own. That's where I said art of living. Art of living should give me some, job there because I talk about it so much. But that is a pranayama. Simple Sudarshan Kriya is a set of pranayama. It is simple. So what I find is I don't have to even use my head of what to do. Just do what they teach you. But any teacher can teach you. Make a set, but then stick to it. Don't one day do Kapalbhati and next day do, Bhastrika and third day do Anulom Vilom. If you want to do Anulom Vilom, do it every day. But then Anulom Vilom, if you're going to do 5 minutes, it may not be enough to get you to center. You may need 15 minutes and you can't do 15 minutes of Anulom Vilom. So you may need to do a combination. You may do some Anulom Vilom, you may do some Bhastrika, you may do some sort of a deep breathing, soham. That's what Sudarshan Kriya is, soham, breathing with soham. So and hum, right? So means that I am, that's the meaning. So is that, and aham, this I am. So whatever be the method, once I make this Shrestha, if this is my Shrestha, what happens to the senses? All the itaraha janaha are going to come running into it. Even my manas is going to come. Manas is one of those biggest indriyas, right? So the person is at work, but the Shrestha is, so now if you are at work and you encounter your subordinate who is completely, hyper, gets easily agitated. Well, if you're Shrestha, you will know why you're at work, what you need to do. You're not going to get carried away. Your senses are not going to start arguing, you shouldn't do things like that. Or maybe you're not even arguing with them. Maybe you're just internally commenting on them. Maybe you're thinking how that person just sucks and, this person doesn't have any good attitude. You're automatically getting pulled into it. So Shrestha is, once this Shrestha, what Shrestha does, itaraha janaha. Itar is also that perfume, but basically the common people all around. So all the senses, all the manas, everything gets pulled in. They are going to do exactly. So you don't have to worry about holding your senses. Oh, I'm not going to eat. It's never going to work. You make your intellect stronger. You make yourself so grounded, so centered, that all your senses will. Now, if your relative comes in, who's, you know, your Bua walks in with complete amount of hyper energy and critical, you are centered. It doesn't matter. Your children misbehave with you one day or get rude with you because they are not there. They definitely don't have the, you are centered. But see, if suppose you are centered when you say, this only comes into play, by the way, Shrestha, people who is common, Itara Jana will follow when Itara Jana is around you. So what happens is, if you are in isolation, suppose our kids have gone to college and I am by myself, then I'm not challenged. It is only in relation to people we come to know how much grown we are. So suddenly the children, my daughter comes back and she says something, no, mom. And suddenly, if I'm not centered, I'll get agitated. You didn't respect me. You don't respect me ever. I respect. All the talk will start. But if I can keep myself in my Shrestha, and then invariably, once my senses are controlled, once I'm not trying to control my anger with my daughter, I'm not trying to control my disappointment, I'm not trying to bite my tongue. That is suppression of emotions. That is going to cause even more physical harm to you. Anger suppression, these are called adharaniya vega, mean the things you should not control. In the sense of suppressing emotion, it causes what we call in Ayurveda mental harm. So you become actually more depressed, anxiety. Part of it comes from suppression of what you can't say, you don't want to say, people have said this. So I'm not talking about that, but if you are centered here, it won't matter to you. You will automatically be, your senses are under control. So you're that, remember in second chapter we talk about tortoise, you're like that tortoise, it's automatically drawn in. Now, in contrast, so this becomes, the other way I like to look at this is like a moth to a flame. This becomes your flame. So this is your third eye. So this is this is your flame. If this is flame, these moth, which is all your senses. Moth is not somebody else. It is yourself who is troubled by yourself. These moths are drawn to it. Everything burns once your third eye is open. Once the flame is in, so that is moth going to a flame. Now what happens? If you don't have a flame, which is what our lives are, right? No flame there. Now what will the moths do? The moths are all going out. So now the moths are completely going out. Yeah, you are smiling. There is a big party going on and you are smiling, you are all dressed up, right? I'm a woman, so I give examples, a lot of time women, all smiling. But I am not, there is no flame. So I'm working with the senses. In the moment, I may even appear centered to you. But it will be in a moment before I'll flip. Something you will say and I'll say, what? You don't like me? You said that to me. I didn't like the way you said that to me. And next thing you know, she said that to me. Did you hear what she said at the party? What is going on? The absence of your own moth. Oh, some Nidhi Nagar is now waiting. I don't know what happened. Anyway, Nidhi is in. So this.
No, Anisha, I can hear you. I was able to log in. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. Thank you.
So you can, this is what is our creation. Your Shrestha, you create. So right now, Arjun also in the first Vishada Yoga, the first chapter, the guy who had such a good intellect, who is so focused, when he saw his relatives and his gurus in front, this is what he lost. He lost that centering. And suddenly he's like, I don't want to fight. What's the point of fighting? I don't, because he's not any Krishna yet, right? He's not realized soul yet. So this is where Krishna is now telling him, let your intellect guide you. Connect higher, open up and this is where even the chakras come into play, right? We're talking about the chakra, the Ajna chakra here. The Ajna chakra, that gets opened. And once that gets opened, and then we need to, because we live in a material world, because we're all working, because we interact with people, it is because we are not, this is not our last birth, because we are not that realized, we will tend to, that is why we need to have some sort of centering practice. It could be as much as you going for every morning 1 hour for a walk and contemplating. If you're on the walk but you're on the phone the whole time, then I'm not talking about, or you're putting some Western, some music, chaotic music in your head. That, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about contemplation time, where you say, I am, contemplation is what? In Gyan Yoga, there is this whole contemplation, right? Manana, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. So what it means is, you go through, for example, you have a day where you cry a lot. Something happened and you are upset with your spouse. You're like, you don't care for me, and every day, blah, 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 you go on and on. Next day, same spouse, and now you say, I really like you, I love you, and you're so caring. What changed? The person is the same. One day you were drawn through the senses, everything negative was coming out of you. The other day you talked to yourself and said, oh no, I don't know why, but I was so negative yesterday. I said so many bad things, maybe half of them were not true, but my ahankar, my ego took over, right? So I said it, but now I realize it was wrong. If you reach that point, then you know that you yourself go in and out. Nobody else is responsible. You yourself. One day you think your kid is the worst one. Next day you think your kid is I'm so proud of her. Third day you're like, oh, she's so rude to me. Fourth day, I'm so proud of. What is happening? Nothing is happening. That person is the same. I am going in and out. So let's all build on our Shrestha so that our senses are completely easily. Now somehow I live literally 5 minutes now from the mall, and my car steering wheel never goes to the mall. So somewhere I don't even have to make an effort. It is that I changed within, and automatically it doesn't happen. So, for somebody it could be food, simple thing, or somebody it could be speech. Sarcasm just flows through their mouth for everything. And they also don't need it. They need to build that Shrestha. Get it? So this is what it is. Any questions on this verse?
So Shrestha Anisaji means like we can call it as a leader or something else.
Yes. So it is the leader. It is the, so you can think of an externally as a leader too, and internally within you the leader too. So yes,
Okay.
it is that leader that everyone tends to follow. So when you were, we can talk about, when there's a good leadership out in the world, then everybody, is more centered, they are more selfless. And then there is a void of a principled leadership. People are more selfish, violent, self-centered, judgmental, unable, non-accepting. We see it all around us, right? So that is an
All
external.
these, right? All these characteristics should be there. I mean,
Exactly.
okay.
So leader, one cannot just become a leader by virtue of a post. A leader is invariably a person who themselves will have to be centered. So, it is one thing to be, so leaders are in small capacity. You could be a leader for your family, for your, not just children, but for your brothers, sisters, parents even, or you could be a leader in a bigger setting for your company. But either way, and nobody is going to follow anybody. You can have a position, but your subordinates are not going to follow you for the position. They will follow when you are displayed a principled leadership. Some people want to, I am the boss, so why are they not listening? Well, they won't listen because you are,
Yeah.
you hear that all the time. So they're not centered, and they're drawn by their senses. Or if I'm, say, one day I'm behaving nicely, right? I have now a group of people that I kind of lead in my new job. One day I'm centered, fine. Next day I let go. So if I go up and down, what happens the third day? They remember the second day more than the first day, right? So when I'm not centered and
Right.
I lose my patience and I say something, well, that's the day they will, God, she flips. I thought she was centered. What happened to her? So that is why all of us, fine. We will eventually, some of us sooner than others, will reach a state of constant staying in with your third eye open. That is the goal. Don't even think about, oh, I have to experience Krishna, I have to experience God, I have to do Samadhi. Samadhi is farther away. Don't worry about it. Right now, just worry. Can you be centered? Can you use your wisdom at every point? Can you just find that spot from where you can operate so that I'm not talking about so rational that you don't have emotions. I'm not talking about knowing what is right. You all know what is right in every situation. Even if today you have done something that was not right, you know what is right. We all know it. That gut feeling, you know it, but you don't follow it all the time, even though you know it, because your ahankar comes in the way. What comes in the way? Ahankar comes in the way. Your mind has desires, mind has desires and hates, likes and dislikes, raga, dvesh. And then your senses, they all come in the way. Get it? So the more we say centered, and this the leader rather than, even sometimes people say we should be heart centered. Well, there is a whole movement where it's like you are so heart centered that you don't even, one day you are with one person, next day you say, oh, my heart says I want to leave you now, I want to be with you. You can't, that's not right. So you have to heart centered, not when it's not connected to higher, that is not, that's just desires. So people have gone the other extreme where they're like, oh, we were very controlled by our parents. This society always controlled us. We are going to do what we want to do. And today they want to do this thing, tomorrow they want to do that thing. Now they don't know whom to. Oh, our parents decided our marriages for us. So now we're going to find. Now they have one boyfriend, two boyfriends. Now they're going all over. They can't decide. So that's not heart-centered. That's just leading from your senses. This is not, they're not talking about heart chakra opening. They are actually looking for some sort of a relationship and a deal in that relationship, some sort of exchange. You like this, I like this. What? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a much higher centered living where you know your gut what is right. So then there is, and everybody knows that. We are born with that. A child knows not to, you put them at the edge of, and they're not just going to, drop down. They know what is right or wrong. Everybody knows it. We just don't follow it because we haven't made it strong enough. We have made our senses strong. The moths are taking us around because the flame is just not burning. The moths are going around. Okay, let's go to the next verse. And Manoj, you can read it.
Arjuna, there is nothing in the three worlds, earth, astral, and celestial planes, that I ought to do, nor anything for me to achieve that I have not yet already achieved. Yet I continue doing things. What is it that the representative of God, an incarnation of God, would want to achieve? Nothing. No attainment is necessary. He has everything. He doesn't have to do anything to get anything. There's no need. God could just as well stay quiet, but says, having come into the world with a body and a name, I am continuously working. So don't think that you have obtained everything, you'll just stop doing things. The mere fact that you are still a member of humanity means there is something for you to do. Sri Krishna explains, even though I don't need to obtain anything, if I do nothing, you know what will happen? All my students will follow my example. They'll say, look, he's not doing anything. What should I do? Why should I do things? At least for their sake, then I must be doing something. It's almost like seeing both the students and the professor also going to college. There's no need for the professor to go to the college to learn. But if he or she doesn't go, the students won't go. This is a nice thought to remember.
Yeah. This is also a very nice slok. So here he talks about na me parth asti kartavyam. Na means not or neither. Me means mine or I. Partha means son of Pritha, which is Arjun. Asti mean is, or there is, kartavyam, some sort of duty or obligation. So Partha, son of Pritha, neither there is any duty for me. Trishu lokeshu. Trishu mean in the three lokeshu world. Kinchana, anything, even a little, any duty. So in Partha, I have no duty, no obligation in all the three worlds. Na anvaptam. So nor So first was that I don't have any duty to do. Secondly, nor anvaptam. So nothing, I have nothing to be obtained. So basically I have nothing to lose. Nothing is not to be obtained. Or avaptyam, avaptavyam, nothing to gain. So nothing to lose and nothing to gain, or nothing to be obtained and nothing to not be obtained, basically. I vart eva cha karmani. Vart or varte means I am engaged. Eva yet cha also in karmani, in action. So I have, look at Krishna. If you look at the life of Krishna. There has been since birth to all his life. He's always been doing action. Of all the things right now, he's the Arjun's charioteer, Sarthi. Krishna, the Lord, is Arjun's Sarthi. So what does he even need to do? After the Mahabharata gets over, Yudhishthir does a yagna where Krishna then washes the feet of the guests. So look at Krishna. No job is small enough. He's not fighting the war, but you don't want to be a driver for anybody. Krishna is a driver, right? You want to be the mem saab, the lady who wants to sit in the back while the driver drives the car. Do you want to be the driver for the driver? Well, Krishna is being the driver for Arjun, who is he's his disciple, he's his friend, whatever relationship you may say, but what Krishna is and what he's doing. So, Krishna says that, oh Arjun, neither do I have any obligatory action, nor I have anything to gain or lose, yet I'm always performing, I'm engaged always in action. And the lesson here is so he's telling Arjun, because Arjun of course wants to run away, right? This is one of the things that he's giving you, proposing you karma yoga. He's talking about you do not run. See, this whole concept of retirement also, I was thinking about it. God didn't say you can just retire and then watch TV all day. All the unhappy seniors are because they have given up on karma. When I say to somebody, I'm going to work till the day I die, one day I'll be walking to work and I will not necessarily this kind of work, but some sort of a healer job I'll be doing, and I will die. They say, but why is it that we separate work from play? Because we have separated work from play, we are going to work for 60 years and then going to play for X number of years till you die. But Krishna is saying, look, and the other question that comes, people say, if I have nothing to gain, if I don't have any goals, how will I work? You tell me, what is Krishna's goals? What is it that he can achieve? What is it that he doesn't have? What is it that he has to fear that he will lose if he doesn't go to work? Nothing. Yet he's there. He tried this war not to take place. Did he want this war? No. Did he try not to have this war? Yes, he did. Yet when the war happened, he becomes a charioteer. He doesn't say, okay, well, now you guys fight. What is my role? I don't have to do anything. So here, there are a few things that are very important. One is that we all will need to, that first of all, action is inevitable, but what kind of action? That is very important. And the biggest example is Krishna itself. Krishna, what is he doing from birth to the time he leaves from the particular avatar? Leela, Krishna Leela. So he's forever in a playful mood. He was playing there. Whether he was a child, he's playing. Whether he's as an adult, different role he's playing. But the Leela continues. So here, What we are looking for is what can I gain? What can I will do this work if I can gain something. But Krishna is saying, what if you reach a state where you have nothing to lose, nothing to gain, yet you will work. Same work you will do. You can still get up tomorrow morning and go to work, but you will go in the spirit of playing. That you will play the whole day. Where what is play means? It's like when you were children. You didn't go out to play thinking, what will I gain out of this play? What is there to gain? What will I? Nothing. You just live in the moment. What is play? Play is living in that moment, doing it to the best of your ability without any attachment. That means if I am given a job of being the driver, I'm doing it the best. I'm going to make sure that my client reaches the spot the perfect way. I give the best experience. I have the best conversation. I do the best thing. Once I plan there and drop them, now I become the boss of the company. And now I do that part with equalities. Then I become, come home, and then you have to sweep the floor in the house. You do that of your house, or you're a guest at somebody's house, you sweep their floor too. And that's also fine. You do that. Then every job becomes complete on its own. Every job is fun on its own. You're not dividing your life into this is Leela and this is not. I come back in the evening, now I'm going to do play. I'm going to play with my children. I'm going to play in front of TV. I'm going to watch the football game and play. I'm going to play with my spouse. That is play. And then I go and now I do job. You're dividing up. Krishna is saying, get into the spirit where Arjun, you have nothing to lose from this war, nothing to gain. You are just doing your action. That is how you will develop a spirit where there is completely, now this whole question of, whenever you think of this question of, how do I do this job if I don't have anything to gain? Well, the same way Krishna would do it. Just do it. Of course you will get the reward. Nobody's saying that you won't get paid. No, that's how world works. If you're in the material world, you will go to job, you will get a pay. But while doing the work, can you stay in the job? Can you just stay in the moment? So it's like if you are in, if you are seeing, in my example, if you're seeing a patient, you're 100% with the patient. You're not at that time thinking, oh God, this patient's talking too much, I need to get out of the room. You're just 100% with the patient, meeting the need, realizing the soul. You don't have a soul talk outside in the morning meditation and then come and see, oh, this patient is like, oh God, such a troublesome patient. Your medical assistant, your nurse might tell you she's troublesome, but you are centered. So you see the patient with the absolute availability. Then you come out of the room and then you do whatever else you need to do. And then you have a meeting and now you are giving a PowerPoint presentation, then you do that. Then you do that with complete, you do this, then you go out and, whatever, then what I'm saying is you don't divide. Look at Krishna. And the other aspect that Krishna's life teaches us, there's no bigger, small job. Right now, we are full of ahankar. This is beneath me. That is my kind of job. This person made me do this, that. Now look at Krishna's life. When you have nothing to gain, nothing to lose, and you are involved in karma, you will do every karma with equal enthusiasm. If you have to, you have to go stand at some place to sell something, you will do that. There are some organizations where spiritual organization, well, they will do that only for that reason. You have to go sell the pamphlet at why? What is the guy is a boss at the company. But then your president, go and sell some pamphlets at the roadside where nobody knows you. And then they have to do that. So what are they trying to build? They're going to build like no job is big or small. Because right now we oscillate between, I have reached this position, how can I do that? So Krishna, and so then how do you even reach that position? Wow. One thing to think about is how do you reach a position? If I'm sitting and thinking, how do I reach a position where I have nothing to gain or nothing to lose? There is only one way. When that dot merges, or the drop merges into the ocean and becomes the ocean, then the ocean has nothing to gain at the top. So right now we are so separate. So the little me has so much to gain and lose. But if you can understand and gradually come to the realization that you are that spirit, so that God is not separate from Krishna. You are Krishna. You don't worship just Krishna, Krishna. Oh, I have Krishna here, Krishna. But you worship the Krishna within you, or you worship yourself within Krishna. When you merge, now imagine you have nothing to lose, nothing to gain. You become that consciousness. That is Samadhi stage. You see, that is what, some of us may experience from time to time, the stage of Samadhi. So, that is where I think he's talking about. Now, what is this Trishu Lokeshu? So what are the three loks he's talking about? Different books will say different ways, different teachers will teach it differently. It can be, if you look from Vedantic perspective, it could be the waking state, the dream state, and the deep sleep state. There are the three loks. It could be the physical world, the astral world, and the causal world. It could be heaven, earth, and hell. But basically, all the three, Sukshma, the Sthula Sharir, Sukshma level, and the Karana, all three levels. At every level, he's always working. He's never disconnected at any level. And that is what he is proposing for Arjun, that is how you want to live. That at every level, you will continually function. So you're not just working on the material plane, but you're growing on the spiritual plane too. So both ways you're working. So you can't say, oh, now I'm becoming a sadhu, so now I'm giving up the material work. In fact, if you look at the life of Buddha also, he did leave his family, but once he did self-realization, he came back to teach. So a lot of the self-realized souls do come back, whether it was Vivekananda or Ramakrishna or all the current self-realized. Why are they our teachers? Because of this verse like this, where even Krishna doesn't rest, even for a moment. So then who are you and me to say, oh, I'm tired, one of the biggest examples, Kanti Didi left, but Kanti Didi, she now volunteers and still gets up and leaves. She's out to work at the hospital 6:30 in the morning, and and works till 4 o'clock. And I was thinking, oh my God, I want to be like her when I am there. So yeah, so people, there are those who complain, and then there's those who don't complain. Krishna never complained about working, though he had nothing to gain and nothing to lose. So don't say, oh, now I have enough money, now I just want to travel the world. That is fine, that is the material level. But at the same time, if you're thinking you're not going to work, human life, you will only be depressed and suffering if you don't do that. Isn't that the experience of all the people who work with seniors? Like, if you don't have any purpose, you're going to feel, I'm alone, I'm a victim, nobody cares for me, nobody pays attention to me. Why should anybody pay attention to you? How about you just pay attention to others? You're so wise. Go and keep giving your wisdom away. Do work in some capacity. Open, if you're in a wheelchair, you can work. Who says you can't work? Because the mentality is such, I'm now working, I'm retired. That is only on the material plane. It leads to nothing but downfall. So you can get the retirement money, and then you can use that to fund your old life and continue the volunteer work.
Okay. So I have a question, Anisha.
Yeah.
This verse says that where Krishna is saying that I have nothing in all the three worlds for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if I look at this level, okay, Krishna is the higher level who we all look up to. But then if if the world is now trending more towards evil and there are more evil people, then how do those people who are actually looking up to Krishna and all can have faith in that and just like feel that, okay, there is a higher authority who will take care of some of this evil? Because like I just feel that the way the world is moving is just, it's moving more towards evil stuff. So then how are the people who are following Krishna or who feel that there is a higher authority that who will take care of, or who I should be, I would look up to Krishna, but then I feel like, how can this kind of thing happen?
Right, right.
Krishna and
So,
there.
so there is, God, or if we look at Krishna as somebody who existed so many thousands of years ago, or this God is our creation. If you think about it, who made this whole concept of God? We did. We did created God because humans need something to hold on to. We don't need to have God. I mean, atheists are no different than us, because we are just creating this concept because we are feeling somebody needs more crutch than the other. But that same person who has evil in them, or the evil word is more than like dark shadows. So we are full of lightness and darkness. There is not anybody who is not light and dark. The creation of God is the hope that there is godliness is what we are aiming for. Where is this human being creating God from? Because the human being aspires to be having these qualities, positive qualities that he has given to a concept of God. God is benevolent, God is that, God is this. And what do I want to be? I want to be like God, right? But I can't be God because I'm human. But I've created this person that is my ideal of who I want to be. So none of us need to be looking up to some Krishna who's going to come and do something for us. That is, up for, who has seen. So what can you say? What it's about, it's invoking the godliness within us. It is invoking the Krishna within us. And actually that godliness, that qualities of godliness exist even in that person that you're calling evil. It exists, except when it gets like covered up with their ahankar, when it gets covered up by their personal desires, basically this whole identity, then fine, they are even the most evil person, somebody who murders somebody, you will find will go home and be taking care of their child. So that same person has godliness but tends to give in to his dark shadows. And you and me maybe also have dark shadows, but we will not respond. If we are mad with somebody, you're like, oh, I want to kill her, but we won't kill. So we don't respond to that. So the way to have faith is not in anybody, but in you. There is no God out there that you need to have a Krishna. The whole Mahabharata is written for the purpose of you to access that in within you, that is wise. You may call it Krishna, you may call it, a consciousness, you may call it that intuition, you may call it a gut feeling. But what you're saying is, I want to have that power of acceptance. I want to be so full of light that even this person who's evil comes in front of me gets flooded with my light. That is what we are expecting God to do, right? Well, that is in us. We become gradually so full of, we are light, but our lights have dimmed because we have covered ourselves. And one of the ways is that when we expose ourselves to too much evil, we are humans. So when we expose ourselves to so much evil or so much negativity, then the negativity grows in us too. It is going to happen. So for that reason, the way is we protect our own godliness. So I say, okay, I watched one debate, President, I'm not going to watch a second one because I didn't have a good sleep that night. So I'm not going to watch a second one. Why? To protect my godliness. I've already pre-decided who I'm going to vote for, right? This way or that way, people have already decided. They're watching the drama, right? So if the drama is so much that it is every time it's a drama, it's been a drama since the day they started doing debate.
but the drama was at a level that you could handle it. Now, if you have if you are yourself covered in that darkness yourself, if you are more in touch with your negativity, you're going to enjoy that debate. You're going to say, I'm going to watch a second one. I didn't like it, but I still want to. Yeah, it just still give me a. You're not even going to say it, but it's giving. That's how people watch reality TV so much. Everybody's fighting with everybody. They say all the negative. Oh, these reality TVs are not good, but they watch it. So it's high TRP. Somebody's making it happen. So another reality TV. Now, if you start developing the light, you may have to protect that light. You don't have to depend on any God. You protect the light within you and you say, you know, I have light and this affects me more. Because the other aspect of that godliness is your heart chakra starts opening up. You become more compassionate. So you start taking on energies of people. So you don't want to take on so much energy because it affects you. Others, there may be others who are so layered up, they don't get affected even when their family member something happens. So when you start realizing, you protect your godliness, you invoke the godliness within you, live within it. And the goal in Kali Yuga is what? All of us are trying to become more of that light, so that when we are encountering a person, everybody, if I'm going to my workplace, each one is with different degree of lights. Somebody is dim, somebody is very dim, somebody is little bright, somebody. So what I'm going to do is, if I can keep my lights consciously open, then each one they will feed into my light and their light will get a little brighter. So they will say, oh, I really like Dr. Singh. They're saying that, right? Oh, I love when I'm working with her. But what am I doing? I am not trying to please them. If consciously we can invoke that godliness within, then in my presence, their godliness gets evoked. Now, if somebody is so covered up, then nothing I can do can invoke the godliness. Then I protect myself from that.
I want to extend that further to say it is not just enough to protect the godliness within us. Gita's message very clearly is to convert that godliness into action. So get out and
Exactly. So do the action. So once you are in that godliness, you are very few saints you will find who will go in Himalayas and stay in Himalayas and meditate and be mourn for the rest of their lives. Most of them, once you reach that place, the point is not just to reach that place, then find a centeredness in that and then to come back. The whole point is to come back and give back in all kind of capacity, not just in a spiritual capacity, in your work capacity, in your home capacity, every capacity you give back. That's how you transmit that light. So you are not necessarily, okay, I want that light. Now, if every situation is different. So if you are, say, some sort of big fight is going on and two people are having guns, well, you can't say, now I'm going to walk in with my light and show my light. That time you withdraw. So you need to use your wisdom to know when to withdraw, when to engage. What is now if somebody is very evil, for example, the word you used was evil. If you were that person's counselor, then you would get the opportunity. But if you were in the front of that person, the person is ready to kill you, then you have to run away. So depending on in the situation, you will know when to give and when it's useless.
And can I add just one layer again to that? I think we need to start understanding and parse the evil action does not necessarily belong to the godliness within the person. So you have to parse that action out. And it's the action that is evil again. Again, going to the message of Gita, it's the acts that are evil or good. We can have the right intent, but if our action transmits something different, then it becomes like the outcome is going to be different.
Perfectly said. That's exactly right. So coming back to when they say in that way, everybody is a soul, soul having a human experience. That's what, the soul is always pure. So we are saying that the soul is not impure at all. Now, if we are unable to see it, question is why can't we see? So we are taking the action to be the person. Like the same thing we say with children, right? We say, don't tell your child, you are bad. Say that the one particular thing that they might have done is wrong.
don't label it. Same thing. So in that way, the world has got more where people are more caught up with senses, more caught up with their ego. But yes, it is invoking that right godliness.
So Anisha ji, like yeah, that's a good point. See, in all areas we can say that okay, our godliness we can come to that equal capacity of Krishna. But one thing coming in my mind is like Krishna is a Sudarshan Chakra, right? In any point of time, if some evils attacks, right, materialistic wise, then he has a good power. At least he was able to kill. But the person like us, yeah, we can bring the godliness inside us in terms of spirituality or any other area, right? But that power also important, right? If we want to bring it or like Krishna, but we cannot anytime.
It's a metaphorical thing, if I may. Like Sudarshan Chakra is just a metaphorical representation of that there is a centeredness within you that you can invoke anytime you want. Are you able to get to it fast enough?
Exactly. Yeah. So Sudarshan, we don't need to kill people with it.
No, I'm just like when we'll say we are like okay, at certain level I will feel okay. I means like the feeling will come as a godliness, but is that capacity also may come inside me? Like
Of course.
okay.
Of course.
Already have it. So I think it's just veiled. I think that's what Anisha has been saying for so long. It's just veiled under a variety of different things and senses and all those things and fears and everything else that covers it.
Yep, it is veiled. It is like lifting of a veil. So actually the whole, that's interesting you use the word veil because that's how it began for me. I actually, when I had in 2014, it was a dream actually that my eyes were completely cloudy and then that veil, I mean, I had never been even reading because at that time I wasn't reading Gita or anything like that. I mean, I had done Art of Living and stuff, but I had not, I mean, I'd done Eckhart Tolle, I'd been reading, but that veil actually is in, for me, it was a very actually experience, but the veil got, and I woke up and I said, the world is different. So the veil, now different ways the veil, that is not the only, I can name a few experiences when my layer of veil got lifted. But these veils were on me I didn't even know I had a veil. That's the thing. See, when you have the veil, it's not like you know, oh, I have a veil. It's when the veil gets lifted. So that you know, oh God, this was a veil. So then there is another veil gets lifted. So it is a veil lifting, which is a very, some of you already have experienced it at some point, a veil gets lifted and you experience the truth at one level. Same thing with even listening to or attending Bhagavad Gita class. The same you a few years ago would have said, what Bhagavad Gita? Some veil got lifted where you said, oh, I just wanted to listen to it. Even that a shift is a big shift for a lot of people where it's like, Bhagavad Gita? That's for all people. They don't even know. And that is just a very minute way, but it is veils. We have so many veils. So to say that eventually all the veils will lift, right? And for some of us, it can lift and then, still there is an enlightenment also. There is like that enlightenment we say where the person is always centered. Another a glimpse of enlightenment where you get it, you know it, and then it can be something like this. Somebody comes and then you don't have this, you can't center yourself in the moment and you lose it. So, and then you know it, or you know it and yet you want to lose it. Sometimes you know it and you're like, I still don't want to get it. And so you kind of have those in between. Yeah, but that's a good discussion. So thank you, Vinay, for, so definitely we have to ask Vinay for his veils. Yeah. So let's come to, I know we are really over time, I think, 9:10. Let's do Anulom Vilom 5 times, and then we will end it. Let's bring ourselves to center. I'm going to mute myself, and you can do Anulom Vilom. Okay, with that, let's bring it to a close. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. And
Thank you.
meet again. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anisha.
Thank you, Nidhi.
Thank you.
And thank you,
Good night.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye bye.